morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as we have previously announced, every Friday we will be having a sports talk show, getting you ready for the weekend. We'll focus on, of course, the NFL, college football, and even throw in some high school football. Good morning, Roman. How's your day going?
Good morning. Depressing.
You know, many people, again, the spread yesterday, the Eagles were supposed to win by 8, by more than a touchdown. It
Right.
was a close game for the Cowboys to go down to the wire against the defending champs. I'll take it. Overall, what was your assessment of last night's game?
Dak Prescott's too greedy and not taking what the defense gives you. Over reliance on CD when he kept dropping balls that were just like there. And they weren't like hard passes. I don't think they weren't hard as in like the strength of him or the force of him. Sorry, they were just there. You could have caught them. Maybe that last one where he dived, maybe that was a little bit off. You could argue that maybe he was a little bit held by the cornerback. I would argue that he was, and caused him to have to dive and miss that catch. Um, and then you got that spit. Apparently, spitting is something Eagle fans are okay with because they were mad that Jalen Carter got ejected because he spit on a man. Those are
I,
my three takeaways.
you know, overall, if I would grade him, I would give him a solid B. And the reason being, Roman, is that for the
D as in
most part,
boy or D as in dog?
B as in boy, B as
Okay.
in boy. And the reason why I say that is because for the most part, Dak Prescott had no turnovers. And even though, there were some close calls there, he took care of the football. What would have happened if Sanders, when he was within the red zone, right outside the red zone, what would have happened if he wouldn't have fumbled? Um,
Oh yeah,
again,
that changes the dynamic of the game. Really, truly. I mean, you're driving down. It would have been right before the flood rain dude, Miles Sanders. Where was Jadon Blue? Like was I
I don't think
still
I saw him all game.
I
Unfortunately, I had Williams on my bench in my fantasy league.
oh
From what I saw yesterday, I think the Cowboys have a good 1-2 punch in Williams and Sanders. Williams is the more bruising back. Sanders is the more elusive one. Again, he needs to focus on taking care of the football. But nonetheless, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Roman, I don't think the Eagles got a sack. So
you
for
know
the
what? I
for
don't
the
think they did. I don't think
so
they
for the
did.
most part, the offensive line and that the offense and defensive line have been question marks for the Cowboys this year. And many people anticipated, Dak Prescott is coming from a hamstring injury. We don't have the best offensive line.
Mm,
Hey, they held up, and we can talk about the famous spit. Again, yesterday was kind of a crazy game. There was an ejection, there was an injury. The very first play of the
mm,
of the game. There
mm,
was a weather delay of over what was it, an hour.
mm.
An ejection at the start of the game. It was just I think the script writers, they let us have it. They said, "Oh, y'all missed football so much. We're gonna give you everything,"
Including Dallas losing the game.
including Dallas. Hey,
It was frustrating to me because there were so many different things happening all at once. I mean that is football, right? Dallas and Philadelphia, they hate each other. There are fierce rivalry. You got America's team. You got Philadelphia, who I'm not sure people like totally like. They're not quite Kansas City Chiefs level at this point. And it was war. It was just war. I don't want to. I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the season, but I can't help but wonder if Micah Parsons were in that game. Are we talking about a Cowboys win? Like is Jerry like pissed off over in the press in his suite? Like, dang it, we could never get any pressure on Jalen Hurt. They really didn't. I mean, he got a little bit of pressure here and there. I mean, those two tush pushes, they probably should have been able to stop him, but they wouldn't have been in that situation had they put a little bit of pressure on Jalen Hurts on the previous play or being able to make secure tackles, so they're at least 2 yards away from being able to make that. Those two tush push situations. Mm. Yeah, I'm pissed if I'm Jerry. I'm pissed. You,
The interesting thing about the start of yesterday's game, Roman, if you take a look at this video, many people are alluding to the fact that it was Prescott. Look at right there. Prescott spit in the direction. And then he says something to Jalen Carter. He says, your boy died. Or look at your boy died. And that's what caused Jalen Carter to spit.
who died though? Who died?
A relative, a friend of Jalen Carter. And he said something like, your boy died or your boy's dead or something like that.
That's
And
odd for him to say, considering he's doing a happy birthday mom on his arm because it's his mom's birthday who passed away. Like, why would he say something like
right,
that? Are we sure that's what he said?
people yesterday, that's what he look. Your boy died, and that's when Jalen Carter spit at him. According to the investigators on X, on Twitter, that's what they were saying. That's the reason why. That's the reason why Jalen Carter was upset. Jalen Carter did come out at the end of the game, and he did say, "You know what? It was my mistake. I shouldn't have left my teammates out there to dry." But again, it was an interesting start to the game. I think whenever you have a division rivalry, the beginning of the season, things get heated, and things were said. I personally didn't think that there's going to be an ejection, but it happened right in front of the referee, unfortunately. So
Who in their right mind gets so pissed off that decide to spit at somebody? I just saw Ryan Clark. I think his name is Ryan Clark from ESPN talk about he won't even spit on the ground. I'm like, yeah, I think you probably spit on the ground. Come on. Like, who doesn't have like a garaco and like had no choice, don't have you're gonna swallow it? That what you do, Ryan Clark? Um, do you believe that the offensive line held up for the Cowboys because Jalen Carter wasn't there for the entirety of the game? You think that's why Dak Prescott had the ability to throw when he wanted in the first half, and then couldn't do a darn thing in the second half? It was horrible in the second half.
that definitely changed the dynamics of the game. And again, before the game even start, before the first snap, right after the kickoff, that definitely changed the scheme of things because again, Jalen Carter is a perennial defensive lineman, and he always has at least two blockers, making sure where he's lined up. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
I would dare say that obviously was an advantage to the Cowboys. Um, the Cowboys, for the most part, they got some good numbers on the ground. We did have Sanders on that 50-yard run to, I believe, in the right before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So the offensive line, in my opinion, came out strong. We can make the argument that because Jalen Carter wasn't there, but overall, I think they did a solid job in yesterday's game.
But yeah, but there was night and day. First half was like everyone throwing the ball, going out there getting open. Um, I really think that the defensive line really prevented the Cowboys from being able to win last night in the first half. They were not able to contain Jalen Hurt. There were a lot of plays where the defensive line, one person would be, they were at different levels. You got to make sure when you're rushing the passer, you're rushing not just as an individual, but as a team. And it was almost like all Jalen had to do was just go zigzag between the linemen to be able to get out. When he scored that touchdown to the left-hand corner of the end zone, he was able to do that because the defensive end did not contain. Instead, he goes inside, allowing that that circular motion or that swipe for Jalen Hurts to be able to do. And that you can't do that, especially not when you're that close to the red end zone. Or as Joe Clark likes to call the low end zone, the low red zone, whatever the hell that means. He came up with a new word during the Texans Ohio State game last week. The low red zone within the zero end zone and the 10-yard. That's the low red zone according to Joe Clark. I think that's stupid. And well, I am depressed because they should have won that game, and it's just going to be a long season just like this.
I'm confident. I would make the argument that hey, it was a good game. Again, Dak Prescott had him with a chance to win. Maybe
Mhm.
people can make the argument that if it wasn't for CD Lamb, and his drop fumble and his dropped passes, there were 3 or 4 passes that he dropped, and I would dare say that possibly 2, maybe 3 of them he should have caught. And whenever you make those catches, you put your team in a better position to win. So I'm confident overall. I really am confident in the Cowboys. Again, they look good. Everybody was saying, you know what, they're eliminated. They're not going to make the playoffs even before the season started. The Eagles, they didn't look as dominant as we would expect. We could attribute that to the weather. Um, you know, but in my opinion, I think overall the Cowboys came on strong. And if it wasn't for CD Lamb's drop passes, I think we would have had a different discussion this morning.
But don't you think it's also because Dak was busy trying to throw 20 or 30-yard bombs as opposed to just doing a swing pass, trying to get some open, get some momentum in the drive? I mean, it stalled. The last 2 or 3 drives with Dak, they did not go further than the 50-yard line, right? Because of the fact that he wanted to get the big shot. And there was one thing he just holding it and trying to, like, I want to pump it, and now you open, want to throw it. And it's like, no, you take what the defense gives you, you get your 5-10 yards, you keep the drive alive and not look, I'm going to make sure I'm going to give it to CD. CD Lamb is not Michael Irvin. CD Lamb is not Drew Pearson. He's not. He's a different kind of a guy. He's not even Des Bryant, dude. He's not. And his over reliance on going to CD. That's why you got George Pickens. Throw it to the second man. Throw it to George. Throw it to Turpin. Throw it to somebody else. You don't have, or throw it to your tight end. Throw it to your running back. You don't have to just throw it over to CD Lamb, especially in that situation at the end of the game when he's already had by that point 3 I think key drops. You just don't do that. Just don't do that. But that's Dak, man. That's what we have as a quarterback, and I say
So,
we because we're fans of the Cowboys.
so you're saying that CD Lamb is not at the caliber of Irvin or Drew Pearson's?
Yeah, he's a Sooner, dude. Of course not. Like those land grabbers over in Oklahoma, screw the Sooners. They go screw Oklahoma.
Again, he should have. This is the last thrown ball on fourth down. Uh, this was a difficult catch. This was a bit overthrown, but when you
No,
take a
but
look,
he was held though. He was being held up prior to that pass. I think it would have been a perfect pass. You don't we probably can't play because I don't want the freaking NFL to like strike you or something on YouTube or whatever. But he was clearly like held, not held like whatever, but enough of a tug to prevent him. The referee's looking right at it, and I don't know how he missed it. I don't know how he doesn't call it, but he should have called it.
this
You
was
know,
a difficult. This was a difficult ball to catch. It was a bit overthrown, but the coaches, they always say, if it touches your hands, you
mm-hmm,
need to make that catch. But
mm-hmm.
when you take a look at the other passes, Roman, those should have been caught. And look at his eyes. Look at his helmet. I think he's more worried about the hit
Oh
uh,
yeah.
in, in a few of these. And I don't blame him. You have these secondary defenders, waiting for that big hit. But there were catches, in my opinion, that he should have caught. Was he distracted? Here we have another one. He was just not focused. Again, if he makes these catches, it's a totally different ball game. It,
Mm-hmm.
it changes the game. Possibly Dallas could have made it close, and if they were there, they could have possibly just needed a field goal. I think the score was 20-24, and if they made a few catches, if they possibly score a field goal at the end of the game, it would have been a lot easier, in my opinion.
One of his drops was going over the middle of the football field. There was nobody in front of him. There was nobody going to hit him, and it was like, how do you drop that ball? I mean, and I think it was that one. It was like he had actually double caught it, and it's just like he had somebody on his back, a little bit, but he should have had the ball. He shouldn't have double clutched it. There was nobody going to hurt him or anything like that. But something was wrong. But is it because he was rusty because he didn't play any downs in the preseason? You know, I can't. How do you explain in the first half the offense having scoring on what 4 out of 5 possessions in the first half? Right, they scored 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. I mean, and then I think they did have one drive they didn't go anywhere, if I'm not mistaken. How do you explain that in the second half not being able to score any point? It was 0 points. Is it just because it dropped? Is it just because of the fumble? Or is it scheme? Is it because the Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, said we're going to shut the sucker down? It was just I'm not happy. You don't score that many points on that many drives in the first half, and then score zero, a goose egg.
You
Big
alluded
MS.
to the you alluded to the fact that maybe things would have been different if the Cowboys would have had Micah Parsons, the tush push. They did convert key first downs, key fourth downs, if I'm not mistaken, on the famous tush push. Overall, I give the defensive lineman a good grade yesterday. Unfortunately, the the Eagles, they scored 3 times rushing the ball, 2 by Jalen Hurts and one by Barkley. And Jerry, how you call him, Jerry Jones did say that
Sure.
the trade that sent Michael Parsons to the Packers, that it did make this football team better. Again, without Michael Parsons, I think they did pretty good.
Oh
So
no, I think they did well without Micah, but does Micah make a difference in that game with pressure, or is he overrated? Or did the defense do better without him? I mean, because he's just a pass rusher. Sometimes he goes into a line and just doesn't do anything. He's just there, like they stop him. Oh, I don't know, I can't get to the. And then other times he's like, running fast. Is it because he's really hurt? Are the Cowboys going to be in a better position because they know that Micah's not hurt? If Micah's hurt, he's going to go to the Packers. They got 2 first rounders from him. They're like, yeah, and they got a defensive tackle. Did we hear at all last night? I mean, maybe I don't remember, but did Kenny Clark do anything last night? Do you
well,
feel that was a successful lineman defensive tackle last night?
I think for the most part, I think they did a good job. I don't think they did get some sacks um, or any significant pressure. Jalen Hurts did manage to convert first downs on the ground. Overall, I give the Cowboys defensive line and offensive line a solid grade. And again, we're heartbroken. It's the first game. We expect them to leave Philadelphia with a W, but they look good. They look good. Maxi Poo is saying that they did get a sack, actually, Roman.
Who got a sack? No, did Clark get a sack? I
I
don't. I'm just wondering because I saw in that specific touchdown pass, and it wasn't the only time I saw it. There were a few other times where the line was not in unison. You got to do this, and that's not what they were doing. You had one guy up here, you had another guy here, you got another guy there, another guy over here. How do you expect to stop Jalen Hurt when your defensive linemen are doing this and they're not doing this, like a smiley face? I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it was an
Oh,
interesting game because when you look at it, uh, when you really look at the box score, let me bring it up. When you look at the box score, it was a high scoring game at the in the first half. And the spread actually for this game
eight.
was 47-48, and everybody anticipated saying, "Oh, this is gonna go over." And in the second half, Roman, it was just a field goal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, field goal. It was
Uh,
21. It was 21-20. At the halftime, we got 41 points, and then you got 3 more points. It was 44 points, and the over under was 47.5. And Vegas must have been freaking the heck F out that they were about to go do the over in the first half, and they didn't. But can we just talk a little bit about the field goal kicker for the Cowboys? Just get it to the 50-yard line and have him kick a field goal at this point, man. The guy's money. The guy is no pressure. Aubrey is just great. Just get to the 50-yard line. That's the other thing that really was wild and upsetting, especially in that second to last drive when Dak gets the ball, all you needed to do was get or like the third to I think it was the second last or the third to last, just get to the 50 guy, and then kick the field, do a kickoff, get the field goal, do another field goal, and you got this game. But no, they don't do that.
So yeah, we do stand corrected. There was a sack by
Who's
the
that?
Cowboys defense. Neeland.
Nealon.
We're,
Oh,
we're,
God, with the guy with the weird spelling of his name. God, how did I forget that? When
yeah,
did it
I don't
happen? Do
remember
you know?
that.
I don't remember either.
Ah, I don't recall. But are you worried about that Dak Prescott threw less than 200 yards yesterday?
Oh yeah, of course. Maybe
Again,
that's why he's
remember,
trying to pad his stats by throwing all those long, 20, 30-yard passes down the field when he should not be doing that.
remember, it was a wet game. After the second half, it was wet, so maybe that forced them to. Again, I still remember them throwing the ball, but again, that changes the dynamics of the scheme of the offense, in my opinion. We
Mm.
did have Williams rush for 2 touchdowns with 54 yards. Jalen Hurts, surprisingly, led the Eagles in rushing, even though CeeDee Lamb did drop 4 crucial passes. He did eclipse the 100 yards um, for his stats. Again, total yards, Roman, 300 yards, only one turnover, and that was Sanders.
Yeah, I mean,
They
yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I'd like to have 400 yards. You know,
when
I
you
like
really look at it, hey, look, they only had 4 penalties for 42 yards compared to the Eagles. So again, if a team minimizes their penalties, minimizes their turnovers, they put their team in a better position to win. And I think the Cowboys did a great job of doing that. Again, it's not the outcome that we expected, but overall, I think they did okay.
hmm yeah. Yeah, I guess some of these comments real quick. They didn't finish the game, went to bed early. I don't blame you. I mean, they had an hour. It was supposed to be over at 10:15, 10:30, and they didn't finish till what, 11:30 last night. Yes, Micah's overrated. Even Chris the comment. Yeah, I think the national media is just all obsessed over Micah Parsons. Just all obsessed over him. But we'll see. We'll see how he's going to play with the Packers. I'm curious how he's going to play this weekend, if he even plays this weekend. You
What
know.
was interesting to learn from after the trade in regards to Micah was that he was complaining about a back injury, and
Mm,
that he was feeling his back, and there was a possibility that he might not play against the Lions this Sunday. And I think he said that he might take an injection. So whenever they're already taking injections at the start of the season, it's not a good thing. So maybe Jerry and the medical team in Dallas knew something. Again, before any trade happens, they always do an evaluation, make sure that the player that they're trading or receiving is in good condition, good health. But maybe Jerry's gonna win this trade, Roman.
um,
Only time will tell.
well, we'll find out because maybe the Packers will have a bad season, and then the first round pick that they get from the Packers next year will be really low and up. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm hoping for that. That way, you can get a really good first rounder and send that first round pick you're getting from the Packers and trade it for another first rounder to somebody, a bad team. That way, the following year to get 3 first rounders, it'd be great. I think 3 first rounders gets you the best quarterback in that draft because I have a feeling that Jerry thinks that he can have Dak for another 2 years and then he can move on. That's what I'm thinking he's going to do. Oh well.
Dak when healthy, wasn't he like the second in the MVP race? What was it, last year or 2023? It
I think
wasn't.
so.
It wasn't not too long ago. Again, when healthy, he's a guaranteed 4,000, 4,500 yard passer. He's mobile. Well, not as mobile as he once was when he was younger, but
Mhm.
he's an efficient quarterback. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think he's a scrub. How many people put him out to be? Whenever he's healthy, I think he puts Dallas in the best position to win. Now, you always have to think about the future, right? It, to me, I would focus more on our defense, focus more on our offensive line. We already have the weapons. Again, the running backs to me looked solid, looked good. A 1-2 punch. Williams the bruiser, Sanders the more speedster. Pickens, I think he only had 1 or 2 catches yesterday. Um, he is a legit wide receiver. Ferguson made the one-handed catch. He
Mm,
got hit in the end zone.
mhm.
So overall, I think our offense is, I would dare say, top 10, top 15 in the league.
Mm.
So we have a lot to look forward to, in my opinion.
Well, I hope you're right because it's going to be a long, painful season. The only good thing about the Cowboys losing last night is that there was no pitada on Southmost, and the people in Southmost were able to go to sleep. You know, that was they can get ready for work tomorrow, today, the Friday, the last day. Now they'll be well rested for Friday night football. Yeah, Friday night lights.
Again, football is here to stay, and you're right, Roman. Today we'll be having a game over in, where is it, Brazil? The Kansas City
Mm.
Chiefs will be playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Free on YouTube.
A division matchup. And again, if you can watch this game for free. The funny thing, Roman, is that somebody was saying, "Man, I think if you want to watch every game, we're gonna have to spend like over $1,000 with all these games being streamed on all these different platforms." So this game, you're right, Roman. This game will be free. Now,
Mm.
Roman, what's your take on the division? Let's go over the divisions. I want to get
Mm.
your take
Mm.
on
Oh
on
wow,
on
yeah.
on the potential division um, winners moving forward. After yesterday's game, do you still feel as if the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC East?
No, because the East has not have consecutive division winners in like what 100 years or something.
Mhm.
So I mean, just by history alone, I don't think the Eagles will win. I don't think the Cowboys are going to win the division. I think the Commanders have a shot of being able to win that division. I really do. Washington, I still want to call them the Washington Redskins. They should be the Washington Redskins. I agree with our president. They need to rename them and go back to the name that brought them to glory, the Redskins. There's nothing wrong with the Redskins. Great name. Anyway, I think that's the team, that's going to win the division this year. No.
I believe that Daniels, the Redskins quarterback, is going to have a sophomore slump.
Ooh,
I
that's a
do,
great
I
take.
do believe in Dan Quinn's defense, um, but call me crazy. I do see the Cowboys pulling this off. I like what I saw yesterday. Many people after the trade before the season said they're done. Michael Parsons is the only one on that team that will make them significant, that will get them, key victories. After yesterday's game, I anticipate that the Giants, they do have Russell Wilson, they do have that rookie quarterback.
Card.
I think they will struggle. I think that the Commanders' offense won't be what they were last year. Again, now teams have tape on Daniels. Now they have his preferences. Now they have what he likes to do. So the more tape out there, the more you give defensive minds the opportunity to
Mm.
stop you. So for the NFC East, you have the Washington Redskins. I'll go out on a limb and I'll dare say that the Cowboys will pull this
But
off.
what the Cowboys schedule? I mean, don't they have like a tough schedule this year? They're playing some really good teams. I don't know. I don't know. I can't see them winning 11 games this season. Can you?
It's possible. Let's take a look. Um, next week we have the Cowboys playing at home
Okay, fine.
against
I
against the
think they,
Giants.
I think they beat the Giants next week. I think they can beat the
Okay,
Giants.
do you think they
Then
could beat the Bears
no,
in Chicago?
no,
What?
no.
You really have faith in Caleb Williams?
Yes, especially with that offensive coordinator. They got Al Harris now coaching the secondary for the Bears. They're a completely changed team. I believe in the Bears this year. I really do. I think they're going to be a difference maker. I I think the Bears might actually be the team to beat in the NFC North. I really do. I believe I'm not gonna put money on it because I don't put any money on any of this stuff. Okay, let's go. I think the Bears I think the Bears
I
beat them.
personally don't trust a quarterback that paints his nails. Uh, but hey, that's just me.
All right, fine.
Again, Caleb Williams, the first overall pick last year, he doesn't have a great offensive weapons in my opinion. So I have the Cowboys beating the Giants. I have the Cowboys going to Chicago, beating the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on Sunday Night Football when
With
when
the
Micah
Packers,
Parsons goes back into Jerry World?
I think the Packers win. I do because I think the Packers have the Cowboys number at Jerry World for some reason. I just think the Packers will win that game. I'm hoping that they don't. That this is the one game I really hope that I'm wrong because I feel like I hate the Packers. I think they're a crappy organization. I hate that organization. I've never liked them. I hate the color green. I'm just kidding. And I feel I'm still upset about the Ice Bowl. So I hate the Packers. I mean, the Ice Bowl happened 100 years ago, and I hate the Packers. So I really hope that the Cowboys win that game, but I just don't feel that they're going to because I think Love's a better quarterback. I think Mike is going to play out of his mind trying to get on that field just to beat and prove to the Cowboys that they made a mistake. And uh, I think he's going to really enjoy tackling and sacking, Dak. I really do. And he has a better understanding of that offense than anybody else on that defense and can wreck an offensive game plan. I think, that's what I think. Anyway, so I have the Packers winning that game. So right now, I only have one win so far for the Cowboys after 4 games. That's just in the month of September.
Jeez, tough critic, tough
I am.
crowd.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I
So
know.
I have again, Cowboys are going to shock the world, Roman. I have the Cowboys beating the Giants. I have the Cowboys going into Chicago, winning there. I have the Cowboys beating the Packers at home. I understand when was it 2 years
Mhm.
ago when they embarrassed us in the playoffs at home. I think things are different. I like our chances against Green Bay. I'll go out on a limb and I'll say that the Cowboys beat the Packers at home on Sunday night.
Oh, so
Uh,
you think they'll be 3-1 after September?
yes, three or
Wow.
one.
Wow. Wow. It's crazy.
Uh, okay, this should again nothing's guaranteed on any given Sunday, right? But what do you think about the
Okay,
matchups against the
I think they
Jets
beat
and the Panthers?
I think they beat the Jets. I think they beat the Panthers. There's your 3 wins right there.
Okay,
We can skip those. I mean, you're gonna have them 5-1 in the middle of October is insane. It's just insane that you think they're gonna be 5-1 going.
if that happens, Roman, would you be a believer?
No, because I think they're being
What?
too soft. Because they're being two soft teams. You're right. The Bears, inexperienced offense, inexperienced quarterback. So I mean, if they win that game, that's 3 games off with soft teams. I don't know. I'm not a believer. No, I would not be a believer. Even,
Tough,
even if they win, even if going 5-1, in the middle of October, I would still not be a believer. I know
tough,
everybody
tough.
else will be, but I will not. I will not. Especially because the following game they're going to go against the Commanders. I think the Commanders beat them.
Eh, that's a toss-up game for me.
Okay, all right. So right
Um,
now I have them at 3 wins. So I think the Commanders win. The next game you got the Broncos. I think
the
depending
Broncos
on
are
the
tough on
weather,
defense.
yeah, depending on the weather. I mean, you're talking about mile high. I'll give the Cowboys the win. I'll give the Cowboys the win on that one. So
I'll
that'll be
have
that's 4 wins.
I have them losing against the Broncos at home, on the road because the Broncos have a solid defense, and we have Patrick Surtain, um, the number one rated cornerback in the secondary for the Broncos. What's your take on the
Oh,
Cardinals and
man,
the
I also gonna
Raiders?
add Jadon Barron. I think Jade Barron, sorry, from the Longhorns, a first round pick. I think you're right. They're gonna have a good defense, but I still think the Broncos will lose that game. I think the Cowboys can beat the Cardinals, so that's 5 wins. Um, I think the next game you got the Raiders. Maybe I'll give the Cowboys a win on that one. And now they're gonna play the Eagles at home. I think the Eagles beat them. I think they lose to the Chiefs at home. I think they lose to the Lions at home. I think the Vikings beat the Cowboys at home. I think the Chargers beat the Cowboys at home. And I think the Commanders win that game only because it's cold. And I think the Giants lose that game. So they'll win that game, and they'll piss us off because at that point they should be tanking the season. They're gonna try to win that game because they want to go off with a victory. And so but that's 6 wins I'm giving them. 7.
What? 7 wins?
I think that's what it was. Let me go back again. Let me make sure I do it right. Let me count. So I got the Giants. They'll beat. I'm gonna start with. I want to make sure I count everything right. I think they beat I think the Bears beat them. Packers beat. They beat the Jets. Oh, sorry, the Giants. Did I say the Giants were gonna win that game? Yeah. Okay. No. Cowboys will win that game against the Giants. They'll beat the Jets. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll beat the Broncos. They'll beat the Cardinals. They'll beat the Raiders, and then they'll lose every other game from there going forward until they play the Giants at the end and they get 7 wins. Yeah, I think
No
they go to 7 wins.
way.
Yeah, I think that's
Let,
my predictions right now. 7 wins.
let me count. I have them winning the Giants. I have them
Mm.
winning the Bears. I have them winning Green Bay. I have them winning the Jets. I have them beating the Panthers. That's 5. I have them beating the Commanders. 6. Losing against the Broncos. 7 against the Cardinals. 8 against the Raiders. 9 against the Eagles. I have them losing against Andy Reid. I have them beating the Lions. That's 10. I have them winning against the Vikings. That's 11. I have them winning against the Chargers. That's 12. I have them losing against the Commanders, and then I have them losing against the Giants because that's a throwaway game. They'll be in the playoffs. They'll be in the wild card. They'll be in the playoffs. That the final game of the season will not matter. So I have them being double-digit winners. In
12. You think a 12 is enough to get them into the wild card?
I think 12. I think 12 will.
Because they got 17 games now, right? It's not 16 no more. 17.
Right.
So do you think they'll be 12-5? And I'm over here thinking they're gonna be 7-10, and it's gonna break my heart because we should be tanking the season, trying to get as many picks as we possibly can. But no, not gonna do that. Can't do that. Not in Jared. Jared. I got 7 wins. Got 7 wins.
I'm a believer. I got them winning double-digit wins this
Right.
season. What about the
Oh
NFC
gosh.
West?
Oh, dude. I think the Niners. I don't have to look at their. I think the Niners will make a comeback. They're gonna be a team. I think that's gonna be a terrible division, quite frankly. I mean, a horrible division. But I got the Niners. I have no faith in the Seahawks, the Cardinals, or the Rams. You know,
I'll go out on a limb here, and I'll say that the Seahawks will win that division. We have Devontae
what?
Adams that was recently signed to the Los Angeles Rams. We have Cooper Kupp also as well. That Cooper Kupp now is with the Seahawks. Their defense is good. Their coach is a defensive minded coach. So for the NFC West, I have the Seahawks coming out on top.
That you're really going on a limb on that one. I mean, first you got the Cowboys, now the Seahawks winning that division. It's nuts.
Okay, for the North, you previously mentioned that the Packers or the Bears are going to pull this off.
I think the Bears. It's gonna be the Bears. I think the Bears are gonna be surprised and shock everybody this season. I saw their game against their preseason game. I know preseason doesn't matter. I was really impressed by the Bears. I think they've stacked enough young talent that they're ready to take the next step, and that next step is their new offensive coordinator. And I think that the Lions were just one season, only one good season. I think the Bears. If you're gonna be playing in cold weather, the Bears. I really do. I know that some people, and we have some good Bears fans. I think Ben Benavidez, rest in peace, will be happy wherever he's at right now. I'm Catholic, so we don't automatically assume everyone goes to heaven, but he could be looking down and be awesome. And go Bears.
I have the Packers. I have the Packers in this. The Lions lost their offensive coach. Now he is the coach for the Chicago Bears. I don't have any faith in McCarthy. I believe that's the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. He did lead the Michigan Wolverines. He did win the national championship with the Michigan Wolverines against TCU. He was hurt last year. I don't have no faith in him, even though they do have Justin Jefferson. I don't think McCarthy is going to last, and I think the Vikings are going to regret not signing Sam Darnold to an extension. They are relying on the rookie moving forward. I do have the Packers coming out of the North. NFC South. This is always a crazy a crazy division.
Oh yeah, I think you clicked on something.
The
I don't know
NFC
what it.
South is a crazy division. What's your take on this division?
Saints are gonna be terrible. Panthers are gonna be terrible. Falcons, I still think they're not that great. I think it's gonna be the Buccaneers. Process of elimination on that one. I think Baker Mayfield's going to do a serviceable job. The division's probably going to be won by a Buccaneers team that we're lucky to get it to double-digit victories, because that's what that division is.
Yes, I agree. And it seems as if previous years has shown us that this division is probably one of the most weaker ones in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Many people make the argument that's the reason why Tom Brady chose the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the Saints, who do have Kellen. Is it Kellen Moore?
Yeah,
The head
and
coach.
they're playing for the number one pick next year.
Right, and again, Kellen Moore is an offensive guru. He showed that with the Cowboys. He showed that when he won the Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles last year.
Mm.
But they have Rattler. Uh, I don't have no faith in the Saints. Same thing with the Panthers. They're a young team, young coach. The Falcons, for whatever reason, even though they have a defensive minded coach, and they're always in the top 10 in the draft. It seems as if the Buccaneers should be able to pull this off. And unfortunately, Roman, in this division, I think you could be a subpar team. You could be a 500 team. You could have 8, 9
Mm-hmm.
wins and possibly win this division. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you. I'll dare state that the Buccaneers will win this division.
Yeah.
Moving on to the AFC East, who do
Oh
you see coming out on
man,
top?
that division's going to be insane. It's just like, can we get some of those AFC teams to be in the NFC, because they're just going to be so good. I think the Bills are going to be fantastic. I mean, you're going to enjoy it. Enjoy that quarterback. I don't know if you saw any of a Hard Knock. That was so enjoyable. This is their last season playing in their stadium before they move into their new phenomenal looking stadium that's just going to be out of this world. It almost makes me want to join the Bills Mafia, because that's going to be such a monster stadium. And when you get that first snow game in that new stadium, it's going to be great. But that's not this year. So it last year, it's like going to be saying goodbye to a an old friend. And I think the Bills are going to take that division, and I think the Patriots are going to be surprisingly good this season. I have no faith in the Dolphins at all. I don't trust Tua. I think he gets hurt too often. They got Zach Wilson as their backup quarterback. I don't think you can trust him. You got Quinn Ewers as their third quarterback. He wasn't great at Texas. Maybe, he might come in, show a little bit of a flash and being able to win that. It's gonna be a sorry team. But the Jets, I hate anything about New York. I hate New York so much. I hate Yankees. I don't. I am not a fan. But maybe this will be the year for the Jets to make a comeback and do something decent. They no longer have, what's his name, um, uh,
Rogers.
Rogers. Yeah, thank you. I don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore. Maybe they'll do something. I don't know, but I think it's going to be a Bills versus Patriots. I think those are going to be the top two teams in that division. But it's going to be the Bills. It's going to be Bills. Go Bills.
Yeah, I again, Josh Allen, MVP caliber quarterback. In my opinion, this is probably one of the easiest picks to make. The Dolphins, unfortunately, Tua can't stay healthy. He's had what 3, 4 concussions. He has proven that he doesn't slide. He doesn't know how to slide. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. We have seen uh, how the offense drastically changes when he's not there. Even though the Dolphins do have Hill and Waddle as receivers, and they do have what's his name Archin, the
Mm-hmm.
running back.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they have an explosive offense when they're
True is
in
healthy.
tune, right when they're healthy. But if something happens to Tua, that's it. So the Patriots, I have no faith in Mayo. That's going to take another year, possibly two, for them to be competitive. And the Jets, I have no faith in the Jets. I think yesterday we did get, I did read that their the tackle,
Mm.
their tackle did tear his bicep.
Oh,
So
that's
uh,
painful.
even though they did acquire the quarterback, what's his name, from Chicago, he's
Justin
mobile.
Fields.
Fields, he's mobile, but he's not a great passer. So I think this is
No.
easy. I think 3/4 into the season we'll have the Bills with a commanding lead in the division and ultimately being the AFC East winner.
But who was Tua's offensive coordinator at Alabama? What wasn't it? Sarkisian?
I want to say it was Sark, or I want to say it was Lane Kiffin.
Oh, you see, I think it was Sark. You know, towards the end.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, but it just and if it is Sark, why didn't he teach his quarterback how to slide? You know, teach him that stuff. It's kind of like what happened last weekend with Arch, running him too dang much, potentially getting him a freaking concussion. You know, not that he got a concussion. I'm just saying he could have gotten a concussion. Some of those quarterback things. I don't know. Sark. You know, I don't know. We'll talk about a little bit about college. I'm assuming a little bit. All right, keep going. Next division. Chiefs. Move on.
You don't think that the Broncos would be able to
No,
compete?
I think the Broncos can do something. I actually think the Chargers might be able to do something too. I mean, I do believe in their head coach. I think that's going to be a tougher division than people think. You know, I think it's good. I think Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers, all three of them can make it into the playoffs, especially because they're playing against the NFC East. You know, and I think they're going to be a much better division than the NFC East. It pumps up their record. But then again, I don't know who the NFC South is playing, and you know, help the record of the AFC component. Do you know who they are? Who they're playing against?
Say it again.
Who? Okay, so each you know how the AFC one division plays one division on the other side.
Right.
The AFC West is playing the NFC East. Who is playing on the AFC side? Who is playing the NFC South?
Oh, I'm not sure. We would have to go. We would have to go schedule by schedule.
Um,
But in my opinion, again, the Chiefs have won this division ever since Andy Reid was there, which is for the past what 10 years, 8 years.
mm,
It's something
mm,
crazy.
mm, mm,
So they have solidified themselves as the owners of the AFC. I personally think that the Broncos. I think the Broncos will win this division, which will shock everybody. We have Kelsey, who is 35, 36. We saw last year how he doesn't have that that juice anymore. The Chiefs will be without their wide receiver Rice, who was suspended for 4 games.
mm,
Even though they do have Hollywood Brown and Worthy from Worthy came out of UT, if I'm not mistaken. They do have Pacheco. Pacheco is also coming back from an injury. I think the Broncos will be the shocking team out of the AFC West. The Raiders are the Raiders. I have no faith in them. I do believe in Jim Harbaugh. I just don't believe in their quarterback,
mm,
Herbert. He is a stud on paper. He can get you when healthy. He can get you 4,000 yards, but he has proven himself that he just doesn't have it for whatever reason. Maybe he does need to have weapons around him. Najee Harris is going to play tomorrow.
mm.
No, today. I'm sorry.
Today
It
thing.
is going to play today. Najee Harris did have an incident during 4th of July weekend where he popped a firework and he had some issue with his eyes.
Mm.
They did draft a running back who, by many people's calculations, he should be legit. But I'll go out and say that the Chiefs will are going to be the Chiefs that we're used to seeing, and that the Broncos will be the shocking team to claim the AFC West. This is my opinion, a very very interesting division, the
Mm.
AFC North. What's your take on that?
Oh, I'm a Browns fan. I hate being a Browns fan, but I've always liked the Browns because they're a simple team. They're a simple team that fails, and I'm glad for punishment. But this division, I think it's going to be the Ravens to have. They're a perennial powerhouse in that division. I think playing anytime you're playing in Baltimore is tough. I don't know why it feels like anytime I watch a game there, it's either raining or it's cold. It's just it's I don't know why every time I see a game like with the Ravens, I think it's the Ravens going to take it. I think the Browns are going to be a better team, but not a better team that they're going to make the playoffs or sniff the playoffs. The Steelers, yeah, they have Aaron Rodgers, but I think he's over the hill. I used to hang it up. I don't think the Steelers have anything. And the Bengals, I think they might be able to come back. I think they might have a bounce back year, for them. But I still think it's going to be the Ravens. Ravens are going to clearly win that division.
I personally like the Bengals. I think
Mm.
The Steelers, even though they have a great defense, Aaron Rodgers, he's too busy smoking peyote,
Nah.
focusing on other things. Even though they did trade for DJ Metcalf, I don't see the Steelers. I have the Steelers being a 500 team, unfortunately. The Ravens with Lamar Jackson, he is an MVP. And if it wasn't for Andrews last year, Roman, in the um, last year, the Ravens lost on the last play.
Mm,
Lamar Jackson scrambled and he threw it to an open tight end, Andrews,
mm,
and he dropped it in the end zone. If it wasn't for
mm,
that, they would have advanced and beaten the Bills. And who's to say that they possibly wouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl? I personally like the Bengals. I like their quarterback. I like Joe Burrow. I think the world of Jamar Chase, and they brought back Higgins, a great one-two punch.
mhm,
They have a great running back in Brown. We'll see. The thing with the Bengals is, is Burrow going to stay healthy? If he's healthy, he's a possible 5,000 yard quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Drew Brees, with better weapons. So
mm.
I have the Bengals winning
So
the
you're predicting they're going to be healthy. You're going to have Dak be healthy, and but you don't think Tua is going to be healthy.
no.
Yeah.
Again, what was it last year? The year before, he got like two or three concussions in the season.
Eh,
Like he has shown that there were some hits that obviously he wasn't aware that he was going to take a hit, but instead of sliding, he's a type that would put his head down and initiate contact when quarterbacks. You want them longevity. You want them
yeah.
to last for the duration of the season. Tua hasn't shown that he could stay healthy. And again, once Tua gets hurt, their offense goes to crap, unfortunately.
Oh.
Same thing with the Bengals. If Joe Burrow gets hurt, who's their backup? Nobody
Mm,
knows. So
mm.
I do have the Bengals beating winning the AFC North, and I do
Oh,
have the Ravens having a slump year.
wow. Crazy. AFC
What
South. I think the Texans. I mean, for no other word, that I just don't think any of the other three teams are good. I don't know what it is about the South, the AFC South or the NFC South. They both suck. So I think the Texans win it. No real argument to be had for any other team in that division.
That's it.
That's it. I'm done.
I I again, CJ Stroud, he had a slump sophomore year last year.
Mm.
Again, I have
Four slumps.
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars
What?
coming out on top. Again, we have a
Justin,
Heisman
You
Trophy
think
with
Justin Lawrence? What's his name?
Trevor
Ju-
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to say Justin. I'm thinking about just. I'm combining Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence in my mind for some reason. Wow, that's crazy.
I honestly feel as if they are going to shock a lot of people. Trevor Lawrence, when healthy, he is a stud. They added the Heisman Trophy winner, and it was funny that
You think Hunter's gonna be that big of a difference maker? No, he's gonna be exhausted all the time. I think he's overrated.
if they focus on him being on the offensive side, 70%, I think he adds a dimension, a weapon that the Jacksonville Jaguars are lacking.
Mm,
They do have what's his name, Brian Thompson Jr.,
mm,
who was a 1,000 yard receiver last year. And if you have someone with the speed and agility and ability of a Travis Hunter on the other side, you open up a lot of the field for Brian Thomas. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars pulling this, um, coming out on top of the AFC South.
mm.
Um, Roman, Super Bowl prediction. Who do you have in the Super Bowl, and who do you have winning it all?
Oh, dude. I don't. I'm gonna say the Bills win the Super Bowl and they make it to the Super Bowl. I really have a lot of faith in the Bills this year. But on the NFC side, I think the Commanders have a shock. I think I could see the Washington making the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go on a complete crazy limb. I'm gonna say Buffalo, Washington, and Buffalo win Super Bowl. Just because I just want to be crazy and dumb. That's my pick. That's my pick.
I'm gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals out of the AFC
Mm.
going to the Super Bowl. Out of the NFC, I have the Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
Even though they do have young receivers, I think they'll be able to pull it off and reach the Super Bowl. And I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning the Super Bowl for this year.
Mm.
Um, so again, today we do have the matchup, Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers, which is on YouTube, is free. And what time is that, Roman? 7 p.m.
Seven. Yeah, I think it's
7
7.
p.m. and they're playing out of Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I
One of
the,
many international games this year.
I just don't feel like it's safe to be playing over there. I don't know why we're playing over there. I mean, I say we as I'm not a part of the NFL, but I don't know why the NFL is playing over there. I get they want to try to make money and it's all about money, but I just don't feel like playing in Brazil is very safe. No, what do I know?
Yeah.
I,
Again, whenever you have these types of games, especially like in Mexico City and in South America and in Brazil, I think the gangs, um, they know better, because if they try to do something, the government will come crack down hard on them. And
mm,
we have seen how the NFL is trying to expand, their borders and reach new markets. I think they have made it a point to play in the UK.
mm,
Previously, I think they're gonna play in Germany this year again.
mm,
So I don't. There's gonna be 8 games, 8 international games this year that will be played
mm,
in Sao Paulo, in Spain, in Berlin, um, and next year I think there's talks of them traveling to Dublin, Ireland, and Australia.
mm.
So again, today, NFL on Friday, 7 p.m. Make sure you tune in for free on on YouTube. Roman,
I
what's
don't
your
think I'm gonna watch it. I think I'm gonna go watch the high school football game. I think that's my plan. I mean, I don't feel right watching an NFL game on Friday. Go support your local. Go get the snacks. I know some of you can't. Y'all like Sam Stadium. I'm not a fan, but Sam Stadium will not be playing tonight. You gotta go to sports park if you want to do there. There might be a game at Veterans. I don't know, but go support the kids and go buy a bunch of snacks. Get the popcorn, the pickles, the corn nuts, the Snickers, the nachos, the hot dogs, the pizza. You know what? Well, you know what's missing here in Brownsville for snacks? Do any of the teams, any of those fajita tacos or something, fajitas or barbecue or something that they sell? Does anybody do that? Does St. Joe do that or what? Like, come on, man! You go to the Upper Valley, man. It's fajita taco. They have elote and vaso, elote and they even have Chick-fil-A. People sell Chick-fil-A in some of these stadiums outside of Brownsville. Come on, Friday
what
night
do we
lights.
have? Just nachos?
I think so. Yeah, just nachos. You know what I just said. The M&Ms, the popcorn. I never quite understood how you have the pop. At Sam Stadium, you have to. Well, maybe now it's different. Now they have the new snacks areas. You have to go get the popcorn in one station, then you have to go get the drinks at another station. It's like, Can we just have like one stop shopping, guys? One stop shopping. You want to get your snacks, go watch the game, and that's it. But no, you got to go everywhere around the stadium. Maybe it's different over the sports park. I don't know. But yeah, let's go.
Maybe.
Let's go watch. Free snack, get not free snack. Go get your snacks and help the kids as they fundraise for whatever their club does on Friday night lights. I don't know who's playing tonight. Do you know who's playing tonight?
Um, I could look that
Oh,
up
you
really
want to
quick.
talk about Arch? Okay, we'll talk about Arch. You want to talk about Arch?
Yeah, yeah. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up after we speak
Five
about
hundred
college.
dollars? No, that high school football is cheap. Ah,
Martinez is saying that fajita tacos are expensive. I remember fajita tacos at Charro days. I think they come out to like $10, $12 a pop.
I mean,
That's what I get.
I go to Westfield games a lot because I'm from originally Westfield. So wearing Westfield shirt today. They have fajita tacos and they're like $6 or something, and they make money, and they're good. So you're saying the Hannah has elote? Oh, we do. Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I need to go to Hannah game. Do they play tonight? I'll go. I'll go just for that. But is it elote en vaso or is it elote entero? Like, or do you have a choice? Because some of the people in the Upper Valley, cause I go to different stadiums because I want to get judge the snacks. They do the yellow corn, like the yellow corn in a can for the elote. That's sacrilegious, man. The Del Monte can. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
It's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. I'm gonna use the slogan: "Go big or go home." You're going home when you're serving elote en vaso with elote from a can. Don't do that, man. Man. Well, I guess I need to go to a Hannah game
They actually they
because
actually they actually play today. So so
well, no,
again,
no,
Roman, what's your take on last week's game? Is Archie Manning the future of
Arch, Arch. Oh,
Archie Tomato Tomato? Is he the future of UT Longhorn football?
he- we don't have a choice. So yes, he's gonna be the future of it, but it's gonna be a bright future. It was painful. Last week was just you wait 8 freaking months for this game, dreaming nightmares after nightmare about being at the goal line, at the 1 yard line with Quinn Ewers, and you get to the 1 yard line on fourth down, you're gonna go for it. You should have a play, and you know exactly what play you're gonna run. You know what play you're gonna do. And what does Sark do? An effing quarterback sneak. Not only was that just stupid because it didn't get you the touchdown, it's stupid also because he ran a quarterback sneak earlier in the game and got like what, a third of a yard, which was all you needed to get the first down. But you're risking Arch Manning getting hit in the head and getting a concussion. What are you doing putting his head in danger? It's bad enough he can't throw to save his life because he's throwing all over the freaking place. And you can't, get somebody in the hands because he's misreading stuff or whatever. He's too nervous. He's rushed. He can't get his feet right. But you're going to do a quarterback sneak. I think, honestly, that game really wasn't lost by Art. That game was lost by Sark. Sark called a terrible game. I don't think Sark is ready for big time. I don't think he can develop his quarterbacks. I'm very getting concerned. I mean, he couldn't develop Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers was a 5-star quarterback, and he's drafted in the 7th round for a reason. He's now in the 3rd string of the Miami Dolphins. And now he has Arch. You've had him in the system for 2 years, and he plays like that in his first game. Granted, he's playing against Coach Patricia, new defensive coordinator. Maybe they didn't have to, throw everything in their bag because, they want to save the SEC, conference that matters. It's a glorified preseason scrimmage. But still, there was very little emotion. There was little anything. You saw in the last 4 minutes of the game, but you got 56 minutes of crap, trash offense. And that's all on Sark. And Sark should be embarrassed, especially when he was talking about training camp. Oh man, my team's great. They're doing awesome. They played their hearts out. They played their butts off. They're doing great. They play like they're trash. Now, the defense, something different. But I don't think the Ohio State did anything. I don't think Ohio State played anything other than the vanilla offense, and that's why I think the defense did so well. Um, I mean, they're playing against an essentially rookie quarterback, first real game ever, and you get no turnovers, no freaking turnovers. I'm mad. I'm mad. And now you're gonna get 3 games that don't matter at all. All right, you want to use some of these, clips?
Right.
All right.
Didn't
Oh,
love.
Chase Daniels.
Man, they were so close. They played like crap the whole game. So close. They're trying to figure it out. He's seeing from the sideline, hey, what are we doing? We're switching protections. We're doing this. Okay, empty. I don't like the empty. If you know they're pressuring, why go empty?
Yeah, he's
5-minute
right.
rush,
Absolutely.
right? Gets into him, miss. And the most important
Look
play
at
of
that
the
play.
game.
Look at that play. Like,
Look at
how do
look
you
at
do
his
that?
Mechanics. We'll break it down. It's
Look
just
at
a
his
mesh.
feet.
It's just a mesh route.
Yeah, feet were
It's
nowhere.
just mesh versus man. They had the perfect play on. If this dude catches this football right here,
He's still running.
he might break a tackle and go score. And it's 14-14 and we're going to overtime. Like that's how bad of a miss this was, because they had the perfect formation. They had the perfect call on. They're going to a 4-by-1. They're motioning him out. They know it's 5-man pressure right here. They said, hey, it's all pressure. It's all pressure. Let's go, man. Let's throw the shallow cross. And you throw it like that.
He looked like
Not
Quinn
quick at the
freaking
post,
Ewers
but I know
there.
he's going to learn from it. He's going to learn from it. But you throw it like that. The mechanics. I don't know if his arm was hurting.
No,
behind
okay, can
him.
we please
I
stop
don't know
with
how
that?
one even
His
caught that.
arm
Look,
was not hurting. He does this crap. Anybody who actually watched Texas football would know that anytime he got into the field, he did this. I don't know why he does that, but that's his thing. It's his like thing. Like, stop it. His arm was
Yeah.
not hurt. He was not injured.
After last week's game against the Ohio State Buckeyes, again, Texas was the number 1 team. It was talked about all summer that Arch was going to be, that he is the Heisman favorite. Was this Roman just because of his name?
Yes, it was
When
just
you
because of his name.
when you look at his tape from high school, look at the competition. He was going up against defensive linemen that were, he was probably bigger than his defensive linemen. Last year, Roman, whenever he did sub in for Ewers, or when Ewers got hurt, I think they put him in a position to be successful, and he has been given every opportunity to succeed. And unfortunately, it's apparent that other people feel the same way, because look what Hernandez says. Hey, Arch is not at that level. Who's to say that he belongs there? I personally, after watching last week's game, and after seeing that throw, his mechanics are off. And you would think, again, this kid was born and bred to be a quarterback. He doesn't lack from having the teachers. He doesn't lack from having people around him that are constantly guiding him and molding him, and preparing him for things such as playing Ohio State. So for me, it was embarrassing. And this season's only going to get worse. Moving forward, I have no faith in Archie Manning. I have no faith in UT as long as Archie Manning is a quarterback.
No, I still have some faith. I have no faith in UT so long as Sarkisian. I mean, Steve Sarkisian is calling the plays. He can't handle it. He needs to stop. He needs to hand it over, but he won't do it. That's his baby. His offensive baby. He's supposed to be the offensive guru. He's not going to make the same mistake that Tom Herman did whenever he became became the head coach. He was supposed to be the it kid or it coach, offensive guru guy. Steve not going to do that. Although I think he should, because it's a different. The college game is completely different than what it was even 3 years ago. I think Arch is a good quarterback. He has the speed. I think he can run. He did some jiggle against Ohio State that was embarrassing for Ohio State and their defensive linemen. I don't think it was because of the quality of high school. Arch has been playing the backup role for the offense of the Texas Longhorns against one of the best, if not the best, defense in the country the last 2 years. You don't think that he knows how to play? He can play against those. You can't compare, him playing against, I guess, two A classification, whatever he was over when he was playing for that for Newman in New Orleans. He was playing against top notch, college. Now they couldn't hit him because he was wearing the black jersey, but he was still seeing that coverage. He should have been able to do better last week, and he didn't. Look, that last play that Chase Daniels you had him do, he threw it to the right guy. He made the right read. I think Sark failed Arch and not giving him easier reads, and that was an easy read. He made it. He just missed the throw because of his bad mechanic. But again, that's on Sark. He has not developed him enough to be able to do the right things with his feet. And do I think he's going to get better? Yeah, of course. He's going to play San Jose State. He's going to play UTEP next week, and then he's going to play Sam Houston State. They're going to beat the crap out of him. I feel sorry for them. But then they're going to have a bye week to get ready for Florida. And they're going to play in the Swamp at night. I think I think they beat the Swamp. I think they can win in the Swamp. I think they can beat DJ Lagway. I think Florida's overrated. I mean, Florida's going to play LSU next week, I think. I think they also play Miami. I think they're probably going to have 2 losses already right there. And they're going to be playing for their college football lives, and I think they're going to be down, and they're going to go downhill. I think Texas is going to be fine. I'm more concerned about how they're going to play at the Red River rivalry game, and I'm afraid of if they lose to Georgia. They will have 3 losses. They won't make it the SEC championship. Do they even qualify for the college football playoff? That's my concern. That's my concern, because even though I don't think Oklahoma is good, because they're the land grabbers, beat the crap. They're likely to be 5-0 going in that game, and you can't figure out the Red River shootout. That game is just doesn't matter who's ahead. You saw Texas beat Oklahoma when Oklahoma was a great team. You've seen Oklahoma beat Texas when Texas is a good team. I don't know what's going to happen in that game. I'm more worried about that game than I am about the Florida game.
They are scheduled to play. Who is it? San Jose State, and they are favored to win by 36, 37 points. They do play in Austin. Again, do I expect Archie Manning to have a lights out game? Yes, it's San Jose State. I do not have them winning the SEC. Again, this team this team was built around him. He was given every opportunity to succeed, and we saw what he had against one of the top defensive teams in the country. What do we expect? Again, UT is part of the SEC, one of the most competitive divisions in college football. If he cannot beat a Big Ten team, what do we expect him to against Florida, against LSU? I know Alabama took a hit last week, but Alabama, it's just alarming, Roman. It's just alarming moving forward. I don't see UT even making it to the college playoffs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. They don't play LSU. They don't play Alabama this season. For everybody that says, "Oh man, the SEC has a tough schedule," they really don't. There's only 3 games I think that matter in this season. It's that Florida game and Oklahoma and Georgia. It's not even A&M. It's not Vandy. It's not Arky. It's just those 3 games. And at the end, and I still believe that they can beat Florida. I think they'll beat Florida. If they do that, then if they can beat Florida, I think they still end up beating Oklahoma. But you can't judge that game.
Well,
it'll be fun.
Let's take a look at it. San Jose,
they'll win
UTEP,
that one. Yeah, win.
Sam Houston,
they'll win. I think they beat Florida. Oklahoma's a toss-up, but I still think Texas wins that game. I still think they beat Oklahoma.
Wow.
Even though Oklahoma will be undefeated, because I just believe that defense is far superior to the offense of Oklahoma, and I don't think I don't think that defense. I think it's going to be a defensive game completely, and I don't think Material's going to be ready for that. But we'll see. I mean, Oklahoma play Michigan tonight. I mean, tomorrow night at home. We'll see what happens there. Can Oklahoma? I hate Oklahoma, but they have to win that game to be the saving grace because the SEC can't afford to lose them to the games of the Big Ten. They just can't.
And then they play Georgia, Roman, in mid-November.
And in Georgia, depending
In
what their schedule
Georgia.
is, Georgia won't matter. Depending on what the Texas schedule is and their win loss at that point, if they're undefeated in SEC, that Georgia game won't matter because it's going to be a Georgia Texas SEC championship. But if Texas has one loss or maybe even two loss, that game's going to decide the season for them.
I don't know. I don't have too much confidence in UT. Again, they were ranked the number one team. They had a Heisman hopeful, and then for Arch Manning to come out flat the way he did, is he ready for the prime time? If you remember, Roman, they asked his grandfather Archie. They asked him, "Hey, how do you feel about him going to the NFL?" And he said, "He's not going to the NFL. He's gonna wait. He's gonna be there for 2-3 more years."
Yeah.
They did ask Archie, and he said, "You know what? My grandfather doesn't speak for me. We'll make that decision whenever we get there." But
no, he's going to be here after this first game. He'll be there another couple years.
yeah, and that's what we have seen from Peyton and Eli. If I'm not mistaken, they were 3-4 year starters. So maybe they do believe that especially him, he needs to develop. He needs the college game to develop. And if he's not making it at UT, what's to say he's going to make it at the NFL?
No. Well,
again, it's going to be a fun Saturday moving forward. I don't have any games that stand out.
the only game that matters is Oklahoma, Michigan. None of the other games are of interest. No, I mean the big noon kickoff. They have Iowa State. Bleh, trash. Who cares? Yeah, but I think the only game that's of interest will be that game. I mean, maybe in state you might make the Baylor SMU game. Maybe might be interesting.
Maybe,
but I don't think the second week is not a very good week. For football, for college football anyway.
Right.
Oh, what other game can you score? I mean, maybe the Oklahoma State, Oregon might be okay. Big 12 versus Pac-12, Pac-10. Sorry, Big 10. I keep forgetting Oregon. That might be okay. Might be interesting. Oh, Ole Miss, Kentucky. Oh, I forgot about that one. The first SEC game of the season. That might be. I think Ole Miss is going to be fine. I mean, okay, so there you go. That'll be a game. That'll be a good game because it's an SEC game.
Florida, South Florida, South Carolina State, South Carolina, nah. Miami, and no. Arizona, Mississippi State, maybe. Oh, there you go. 6:30, Michigan against Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get your schedule on, you're gonna watch the noon game. It'll be Iowa State. That's an interstate rivalry game. 2 different conferences. So you'll watch that game. Then you'll click over, watch the Ole Miss, Kentucky game, and stay on ABC, and then watch the Michigan game because those are the only 3 games that matter, I guess. Well, and then in fourth place will probably be the Oregon Oklahoma State game. And I don't know where they're playing it. Is that going to be on CBS or where are they playing the Oregon Oklahoma State game? Do you know where they're playing?
Oregon.
Is that going to be on Fox or is that? I'm not on Fox, on CBS or NBC.
CBS.
Yeah,
CBS.
That'd be a 2:30 game.
2:30.
No. I mean, you can watch that game if you want to.
Yeah, not a great matchup, I guess. But again, we are the start of the season. But we are all gonna follow UT, obviously, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they navigate the season moving forward. Will they be able to come out victorious in the SEC? I don't know. Only time will tell.
We'll have an idea next week because next week you got A&M versus Notre Dame and Notre Dame. Did A&M win that game?
Right.
I want to see A&M win that game because I would love nothing more than to have Notre Dame be 0-2 so we can stop talking about Notre Dame because nobody gives a flying rat's patootie about Notre Dame and their soft schedule.
Yeah,
So I really want to see A&M go into the South Bend and beat the crap out of Notre Dame.
well, A&M, they played UTSA, the Roadrunners, and I wasn't too
First
impressed.
game vanilla.
Yeah, but again, it was a fun game. They and the crazy thing is, Roman, that they play in front of 100,000 crowd, which
Mm,
is amazing, phenomenal. And UTSA, they were favored to lose by what was it, 21? I think it was like 21 or 24,
mm.
and they ended up covering the spread at the very last, few minutes. But I didn't see A&M as being as dominant. Um, we would think that they would get premier talent compared to UTSA. UTSA
Mm.
always gets like the leftovers at UT, Lubbock, and possibly even Baylor, and A&M don't want.
Mm.
But do you think that A&M could be a sleeper team in the SEC?
Yeah, I think they can. I really do. They spent money in the NIL. They've done a lot of work with Reed. Although I think it tells very telling that their head coach Elko did not bring Marcus Reed. I think it's Marcus Reed over to SEC media days. Maybe he doesn't have any trust in it. But I think they're going to be a team, a very very fun, good team, and they get rolling in the SEC. I think they can do something. They did a good job last season up until the last 4 games of the season when they just like lost. Um, you win that game against Auburn, you're likely playing for the SEC championship against UT, but they lost against Auburn, and they're going to play Auburn again this year. Then they're going to play Auburn at home this year. I think they can beat Auburn. I think they can beat Notre Dame. Those are 2 games that will change the trajectory of the season. I think A&M might be a good team. But they're going to have to play UT last game of the regular season at UT, first game at UT in a good billion years. So that'll be a different. We'll see what happens there. But I think A&M has a good shot of maybe making
Yeah.
it to the SEC championship. I think it's the 4 teams in the SEC. It's going to be UT, A&M, and Georgia. And who would be the 4th team? I would have said Alabama, but screw Alabama. But yeah, I think those are 3 teams and LSU. You know, I think those are the 4 teams. It's Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, and LSU. Those are your 4 teams that I think are truly vying for the SEC championship. I don't think it's Florida. I don't think it's Alabama. It's those 4 teams.
Interesting. Again, college football, man,
Yeah.
doesn't get any better than that. High school,
Right.
Roman. High school, we do have some games today.
Okay.
We have Veterans Memorial at St. Joe, um, today at 7 p.m. These two teams are in the top 10. What's your take on this? How do we expect you
Wait.
what was it last year, the year
Wait.
before, were
This is
veteran?
you're gonna a BISD veteran is playing St. Joseph tonight.
That's right.
We're not Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. We're Brownsville Memorial playing. So wow, I did not. Wow, that's gonna be interesting. I did not know that was down the schedule. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and again, we did post how these two teams, they were in the top 10 in the Rio Grande Valley, and in
Mm.
Cameron County, Roman. If I could bring it up very quickly, in Cameron County, we have 6 teams in our area that made the Rio Grande Valley top 10. We have Brownsville Veterans ranked number 2. Harlingen, San Benito, Los Fresnos. We have St. Joe at number 7, and Port Isabel. Port Isabel yesterday, I believe they lost against Rio Hondo. So tonight, Roman, it is a big deal because we have number 2, Brownsville Vets, against number 7, Brownsville St. Joe. Last week, Roman, we did have the Brownsville talk, and I spoke about St. Joe, and someone made a comment on YouTube that they have a stud for a quarterback. Uh, I focused on John Aguilar, their defensive end, um, who's a beast. And I said, hey, watch out for this kid. He's gonna make waves. His name's gonna be out there. And then someone said, hey, you forgot to include the St. Joseph quarterback. And I said, I wasn't aware. So today's going to be a battle of top 10 teams. Do you think that Veterans has a chance to go deep once again?
You know what? I would assume so. I mean, they have the best players in Brownsville, other than St. Joseph. They are the Corpus Christi Cal Allen of Brownsville. I say that because Cal Allen does that in Corpus. They take some of the best players and they get people to move into the area. So allegedly, do that.
No, they do that. They do that.
I mean, isn't that what Brownsville Veterans Memorial sort of does? You start thinking, I want to play good football. I'm not going to want to stick around and play in Porter or Rivera or Lopez. I want to go play over there, or maybe get scouted and go play private school football with St. Joseph. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I probably am completely wrong. I'm just making all this stuff up, but I think it'll be a fun game. It's kind of sad that they're going to be playing at St. Joseph. I don't think that's like the greatest stadium in the city. So isn't like a really small stadium, like tiny? How are you going to be able to fit all those Brownsville veterans, moms, dads, and Dios and Diaz and grandparents and cousins and brothers and sisters in that stadium to watch that game? Where are they going to park? They're going to be parking alongside Palm Boulevard. Where are they going to park? Are they going to play? Maybe are we going to have Captain Bob, our good friend? Well, no, he didn't live on Kaihakarangan anymore. Dang it. I was going to say maybe he can, are the people at Kaihakarangan going to be selling, streets parking spaces like they do for Charo Days so people will be able to park to go watch that game? I don't know how people are going to park. It's going to be packed. It'll be a fun game. I have no doubt all the BSD board members will be at that game trying to prove that BISD is best, is the right choice.
Believe in BISD.
Believe in BISD. Gotta go there. Superintendent will be there trying to prove that we're better than the Catholics. Trying to get those people that go to St. Joseph and trying to get them to vote for the bond, and they're going to figure out, they can't vote because they live in Matamoros.
That's funny.
I'm kidding.
No, you're
But
not.
I'm being funny. I'm joking.
No, you're not. So again, we have Brownsville Veterans.
Can you imagine the St. Joe Mafia is going to be there, right? Sorry, interrupting. The St. Joe Mafia
yeah,
are all going to be there. They're all going to be there. You're going to have Duty there. Not that he's part of the St. Joe Mafia, but St. Joe's alum.
They're all part of the St. Joe Mafia.
They're all going to be there. It's going to be great. It'll be fun. What a game. Sorry, I interrupted. Keep going.
Who else? We got volleyball. I haven't been to a volleyball game in a while. We have Lopez traveling to La Jolla. And then I think there was another game. No, that's it.
Hey, and
Hannah travels to Sheridan. What's up?
But they played yesterday. I thought somebody said they played yesterday. Oh, they played tonight.
Who, Hannah? Yeah, they played tonight.
Okay,
Friday. Yeah, September 5th.
Last night. Yesterday. Well, who watched the game tonight over at the sports park? Do we know?
Well, nobody plays here tonight.
Nobody really?
Nobody, no. Well, unless this game is going to be played at the sport. No, but it says Canales Field.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think there's a game tonight.
Somebody has to be playing tonight. They wouldn't have done.
And Sam Stadium. Did we get confirmation of when we anticipate?
I think at the end of the month. I think September 24th. I think something like that. Are you sure there's not going to be a single game in Brownsville at the sports park? They're all going to be on the road with as many high schools that we have.
Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe Saturday. Let me see. Upcoming games. They don't have a good site, like schedules. Let me see what happens when I put schedules.
Well,
okay,
I guess
6.
You're right.
6. No, nobody plays at home.
Nobody plays.
Nobody plays at home. It's crazy.
Well, then why the hell did they play a game at Sports Park last night on Thursday? Why did they play on a Thursday night game? Why did they play a Friday night game? That makes no sense. If you're going to play a game and there's nobody playing at home, you don't play on Thursday night or Saturday. You play on Friday night. That's so unfair to the kids. Who thought of that? Who thought that was a good idea? Is that like the deal that they made with the team, that they were playing against? No, you don't do that. You say, we're playing at home. We're going to play Friday night. Good. Now you got kids that don't get to, get the good night's sleep to go to school on Friday. Dude, we still care about our kids, right? It's still about the children and their learning. They should have played. Or is it because the Brownsville Vets game was going to be there and all the BISD people wanted to go raid St. Joseph Academy to be able to watch that game? That's insane. You don't if you don't have a single home game on Friday night in Brownsville, you now or is it because they thought that BISD was Sam Stadium was going to be originally hosting a UTRGV game this week? Is that
Oh,
why?
maybe,
Is that why they
possibly.
decided not to play the Friday night game? I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, I think the BISD board needs to be asking questions of your athletic director. But why didn't they schedule a game, no home games on Friday night?
Yeah, it's bad coordination. Again, everything was they had a time frame of having Sam Stadium ready for the start of the season. We have seen how delay after delay after delay, and
There
this
was only
is
one delay. Let's talk about that one delay. It's called graduation.
mm,
That's what delayed it. That's what it was. It was the kids at Lopez that went to the BISD board meeting with their sob story and said how, oh, we all want to graduate at Sam Stadium. Why can't we go to graduate? And then you had Minerva Peña, with her sob eyes or whatever, and Carlos Elizondo. Oh, we got to do it. Even though they all voted for it, they voted to do this like in October of last year. But no, you got the kids coming. You got to graduate in Sam Stadium. Everybody graduated Sam Stadium. Not everybody graduated Sam Stadium. I think we had some graduation in the sports park. It's tradition. We got to marry up there. Like, okay, guys, come on.
oh, that was the issue that they
That was
wanted to
the
be held
issue.
at
That's why we
Wow.
don't have Friday night lights on Sam Stadium, which is why we have games at the sports park. And for the record, there's an MOU. The city is not charging BIC to hold games at the sports park. That's my understanding
Right.
from people at BISD and at the city. But still, that is why. Kudos to the kids for standing up for their beliefs. But apparently, we don't have adults running our city, our school board, because they all fell for it.
Hmm.
And now, and you know what? You know what else we lost? A UTRGV game here because the Sam Stadium is not ready. That's why a lot of the reason they're doing it. So we don't even get the economic advantage, the economic development spike by not being able to host a UTRGV game because the children, again, we're supposed to believe the children wanted the graduation at Sam Stadium. My abuelito and abuelita were not going to be able to stand the heat to come watch it. Even though before everybody could just literally just watch it on YouTube and have your party. That's what they were doing during the pandemic, which was kind of cool, quite frankly, because you do your carne asada outside and you're watching the YouTube. Yay, mijito graduated. Okay, let's start eating. Because really and truly, do you want to be there for 2 hours watching other kids rise and then having counselors not being able to say the names properly or go quickly and be hot? Nobody wants to really do that. But we all want to pretend that everybody wants to do that. We all have to pretend, which is why there's delay. I'm sorry, this is sports talk, not political talk.
Well, it's intertwined, I guess.
Yeah.
Intertwined.
Well, you asked
Um,
about Sam Stadium. No.
yeah, and hopefully there isn't more delays. That would be really sad if we get into mid October, and Sam Stadium still isn't up to par. But I guess we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um, I think at one time they were blaming the weather, saying that it was raining and I don't know what. But that's BISD for you.
Yeah, it is. No, but they should be done by the end of the month and be able to start hosting games again at
We'll
BSD.
see.
You sound sick, dude. Are you getting better?
I'm always sick. I don't take medicine, so just let the body work the kinks out.
Okay.
Roman, my time is up.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much for
Mm.
tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Have a happy weekend. Make sure you support the Brownsville schools. If you don't have plans, make sure you go see the Brownsville veterans against St. Joe at 7. Be careful with the St. Joe Mafia. Uh,
Hey,
they,
isn't San Benito hosting a big game too? They're gonna get their bus beat. They're
oh,
Austin
against
Westlake.
Austin Westlake, yeah, they're gonna get,
Yeah, they're
man.
gonna get reamed. You know.
I'm gonna tune into that game for sure. It'll probably be over by after the first quarter, maybe even mid second quarter. It'll be over for sure.
I just want. I'm almost tempted to go to the St. Joe game just to see what it's like and see what the food is like, but
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid they're gonna run out of food.
I've never been to a St. Joe game.
Neither have I. I wonder.
I've
I
never
mean,
been.
again, I tell you, I don't think the stadium's very big. I don't know how they're gonna fit everybody there.
Yeah,
You
people
know,
are probably gonna be standing room only or something.
maybe. Hey, but maybe they'll be able to make some money at St. Joe and then be able to lower the tuition over there for parents, and you won't have people complaining. You know, the people that live in Matamoros complaining about their tuition here.
I'm sure they'll figure out I'm sure they'll figure out a way to get some of that money from the state for the school choice. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Maybe. All right. Well, we'll see you on
Hey,
Monday, buddy.
happy weekend, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Have a great weekend. Peace.